The SFL Postgame Show is on the air. Call in with your thoughts of tonight's games or any game from Week 5 as we prepare for Week 6. 210-473-8428 is the call-in number. The line is open. Final scores tonight. Dallas comes back to beat Oklahoma City 20-13. DC wins a sloppy one in Tallahassee 19-15. And a defensive night for the SFL. Well, when you look around the league, certainly Oklahoma City has got to be probably the best 2-3 team out there, although Carolina would give them a run for their money. They're also 2-3, and they've won 2 straight. And, of course, naturally on the schedule, those 2 teams will play next week. 9:03, you're on the SFL Postgame Show.
Steven Mullenax here, Ruffnecks.
Steven, that was a nitty-gritty, gut-wrenching game, but this is why you got Rocco Marconi in the offseason, wasn't it? 97-yard game-winning drive.
Yeah, it definitely was. We want a little bit of that Marconi magic. But, hey, it was touch and go there, and I have to really recognize Oklahoma City, man. They gave us everything that we could handle tonight, and I honestly didn't think we could pull it out. And the fact that they did so well without one of their gold star players, it's just a credit to how well Michael Irvine's put that team together and how well they're playing. So, the outcome of tonight is really not indicative of what they can do. And so, their future opponents need to be aware. They really need to come prepared if they're going to go and beat Oklahoma City.
What did you see out of their pass rush? Marconi is definitely going to be in the ice bath tonight. He took some heavy shots. But what were they doing that was maybe different from what you or Marconi may have seen over your first 4 games? Because it seems like quarterbacks are having a hard time figuring it out.
Yeah, I think it's just they're getting penetration on the defensive line and their secondary that really doesn't get enough credit. They're doing excellent in coverage, we have a full wide receiver spread, and Marconi was holding on to the ball way too long. I think simply because, and we'll go back and look at the tape to verify, but just because everyone was covered, and Oklahoma City did such a great job in their secondary, in the plays that Marconi made, the bigger plays, the offensive line was able to give him a lot of time. And a professional like him shouldn't need that much. It was just, again, Oklahoma City's secondary. I think that's really underrated.
Your guys are the road warriors, I tell you. 4 out of the first 5 on the road, and you come away with that 4-game road trip, 3-1. I'm looking back. Do you remember your road record last year?
No, not offhand.
1-5.
Wow.
So to be 3-1 with 2 road games left here coming up in the next few weeks, and that one win, by the way, was at Carolina, a 13-10 overtime win back in Week 11. But this team is certainly persevering with the a backloaded home schedule still on the horizon. That's gotta have you and your fans thrilled.
The league didn't do us any favors. That's for sure in this first part of the season, and with all of our divisions changing, and we looking in the preseason, we thought we were in one of the tougher divisions, and so being on the road so much at the beginning, we thought it was going to be a really tough sled, and it kind of has been. I mean, this is kind of the kind of games that we've won on the road, and that's what you've got to do. Even when everything is falling apart, and nothing seems to be working. You kind of got to grind it out and win these really close games. And we know the ball just kind of bounces our way sometimes. Maybe not on that interception, but it bounced off 2 feet. But you know, you got to survive those kind of things. And although I'm up in the owner's box all tense at certain points and down on the field as the coach as well, you just kind of can never give up on these road games, and we've persevered, and that's why we won.
I tell you something, I slowed down that interception to see if I was accurate, and you know, damn straight. It bounced off Savage's own foot. It hit a Dallas player's foot as he was falling, diving to try to make the play, and it bounced back up to Savage. I've never seen anything like that, even in the NFL or college. I've never seen anything like that. It was, of course, you know, gut-wrenching for you, but man, I mean, you got to tip your hat to a guy when he makes a play like that.
Oh, absolutely. And you know what? Only in the SFL. I mean, we see something new and unique every game. There's always something, and it's just the gift that keeps on giving with this game.
You've given up, the most points you've given up this year are 25. You've given up 23, 10, 17, 25, and then tonight 13. Santa Fe is the highest scoring offense in the league. They have never been held under, I think 33 is their lowest this season. How do you feel your defense stacks up against them? Obviously, the strength of your team is at linebacker, something that, you know, does that gel or not gel with what Santa Fe is going to bring into your house next week?
You know, they pass the ball a lot, and I think we showed tonight. You know, we're the king of the tip drill here. I mean, we're tipping the ball left and right out there. I'd love to see a little, you know, obviously there's more interceptions out there, but I think what the linebackers do is it really says that you can't run on us in the middle. You just don't want to run towards Bones Malone. I don't think anybody would. And they're fast enough. Him and Robbie are fast enough to kind of cover the corners too. But say that doesn't play into what Santa Fe's strength is. Their strength is in their passing game. So we definitely have you know, some game planning to do there, and try to stop that really effective offense. But we like what we're doing right now. I mean, I think we've got a really good flow going, and as you saw tonight, they really kept us in this game, and hopefully they can do the same next week.
17 pass deflections tonight, 11 from your linebackers. How about that?
Yeah. That's amazing. Yeah, that's great. You know, that's why we invested so much in our linebacking core, because you know, that's one thing from last year that we wanted to carry over. And we did a lot of turnover this offseason, but if you'll notice, the one thing we didn't change is the linebackers, all three. So we're really happy with their play, and they're really the core and the strength of our defense.
You're 4-1. Obviously, there are teams in this league that would kill to be 4-1 right now. And when I look at the standings, you know, Sioux Falls is 4-1. You're 4-1. Santa Fe's 5-0. Louisville's 5-0. That's it. Everyone else is behind you. 5 weeks in, you're a top 4 team. At least that's what the records say. And of the top 4, you have the number 1 defense. How do you? But of course, you also have the 4th offense too. What does Marconi need to do to get going against Santa Fe's defense? That I'm telling you what. Man, they look much improved over the last couple of weeks, and Marconi in the offense has struggled to produce a little bit.
Yeah, I think the answer is Mike Davis. I think Mike Davis needs to be more involved in the game plan.
He had a great night tonight.
And he did, and very limited touches and carries, and kind of proved that, I think, to everyone that he needs to be a bigger part of the offense to relieve the pressure on Marconi. As you saw tonight, you know, he held the ball a long time in the pocket, and that hurt us, him getting sacks and taking sacks. And so we need to try to relieve that pressure on him. If our offensive line isn't going to step up, then we've got to turn to the running game more.
Is this some Shan Varner con here? You're turning to the running game and then you're gonna put more pass plays in? I think that's what that is.
Well, we'll see. It's a finicky thing sometimes, trying to determine what you do on that side and how much you do it. But I think it's fairly obvious what we do and what we do best, and it's obvious what they do best. And now it's just time to let's strap it on and see who comes out the victor.
Absolutely. Two of the top 4 teams meeting next week, Santa Fe and Dallas on Wednesday night. Dallas has a short week to prepare for that game. Steven, I always appreciate the time.
Thanks, sir. Have a good.
Oh, sorry, I cut Steven Mullenax off there. How rude of me. Steven Mullenax, owner of the Dallas Ruffnecks. I want to take this time to let you know that maybe I was just too excited about my own announcement. But I will be doing play-by-play commentary for high school football in Fort Worth on Saturday night. I'm still trying to get a way to stream that game over the interwebs. 9:04, you're on the SFL Postgame Show.
Coach Frank Goodin.
Mr. Goodin, are you dry yet?
Still wet.
Yeah, that was a monsoon. It was difficult to see. It was difficult to operate. I mean, even your kicker missed field goal that kickers, star kickers, just don't miss in this league. The rain was going sideways. The wind was blowing every which way. And in the end, DC wins 19-15. What were your initial thoughts? You wanted to open up the offense. It seemed like Alexander West, for the most part, was up to that challenge, even though you take the L again tonight.
Yeah. We were able to open it up, and I was actually surprised at the relative success. I would have hoped for a little bit more, and I think we would have had it if not for the monsoon. But I think that, we definitely have to open it up, and we were able to do some of that. And really, we were doing really well the entire game. I think, the second half, things kind of tightened up on us just a little bit offensively. But we feel good whenever we can be in front in the fourth quarter, and the Dragons were able to put some plays together in very critical times during that fourth quarter to come up with to come back on us.
Riddle me this, and I guess I'm in a mood for tough questions tonight. Week 2, Dwayne Lane, 173 yards, 8 yards a carry. Week 3, 122 yards, 5.5 yards a carry. Week 4, 97 yards, 2.9 yards a carry. Week 5, 65 yards, 3 yards a carry. What is going on with your star running back there?
Well, it's still early. I think in game 3 we just, ran up against. In fact, maybe game 3 and 4 we ran up against some really strong linebacking groups there.
That's a good point.
Yeah, and then this game, for whatever reason, we decided to throw it just a little bit more, and that was when we thought we had, a dry game. So, I think it's still early. It's going down, but it should go back up.
Yeah, you have the Sailors next week, and the Sailors have been an up and down roller coaster, it seems like, for them this year. One week they're looking strong. The next week, fans are left scratching their heads. I'm sure you have to be prepared for just about anything out of the Sailors, but a couple of 2 and 3 teams that are looking to ride some momentum back into conference play. What do you see as the biggest key on how to turn this around? Tallahassee isn't, the Dallas game got away from you, but the Carolina game was tough, and this game was tough, and both games played out in similar ways. What is the biggest fundamental key there for Tallahassee to get back on track?
we still have to figure out the offense. We're still working on getting the offense to where we can have some consistency. And then we can tweak the defense. When you look at our games, defensively, our defenses, for the most part, they're doing their jobs. We had one quarter and that was against Dallas, where things just fell apart. But, every other quarter besides that, we're having games where, teams are scoring 20 points against us, 19 and less. And, for the last couple games, they've just won those games.
Yeah,
so we feel like we just need to – go ahead.
I was just going to say, if you take out the fourth quarter of Dallas, Minneapolis scored 13, Houston 13, Dallas 17, Carolina 20, DC 19. So there you go.
Right. Yeah. So, we just got to continue to work on the offense and maybe tailor game plans just a little bit more if we can towards opponents. I think we're really close to breaking through. We just got to get a couple things right, and I think things will start flipping our way.
Tallahassee really, the opposite of Dallas. You have 4 of your first 5 at home. You lose the last 2 home games. You now have 5 of 6 on the road. Don't get mad at me. I heard somebody else made the schedule, but how does a team sort of get geared up for that with the knowledge and understanding that at 2-3 in what some may say is the tougher conference through 5 weeks, it's got to be better than that.
Yeah, well, we'll type it out. We've seen. I think you just talked to the last coach who's doing some pretty good stuff on the road, and I think we can. The thing about it is that I believe that our defense is going to always keep us in games. We just need the edge. So as long as we get things, a little bit more consistent on offense, it'll be rare that teams will just blow us out. And if we can keep it close, then we can get the ball to bounce our way a couple times.
Have you won any Emmys since I last talked to you?
No, but Monday I'm going to work on another one.
All right, Frank. Always good to hear from you. I appreciate it.
All right. Good game to the Dragons. Talk later.
All righty. Talk to you later. Thank you much, Frank Goodin. Open line 210-473-8428. The Pride fall to the Dragons 19-15. It's Tallahassee's third straight loss. DC snaps a 3-game losing streak. Meanwhile, Dallas storms back. 97-yard game-winning drive for Rocco Marconi, plus an attack on a field goal later as well. 2013, Dallas defeats Oklahoma City without Tiberius Bovine, who was lost for the majority of this game with a foot injury. 2-4-0. You're on the SFL postgame show.
Good evening.
Good evening. Jermaine Smith, owner of DC. You snap a 3-game road streak. I'll give you the same question I gave Mr. Frank Goodin. Are you dry yet?
Yeah, we are. Draw's a little wet, but, it's all right. Put a little Axe body gel and scrub me down. We'll be all right.
Yeah, it was a crazy game. When you're in a game like that, do you just have to throw out everything that you had prepared for during the week and just hope and pray you can come out with a win, or did you feel like the team still performed as you had hoped that they would in this game despite the elements?
Well, we prepared. We knew that this would be inclement weather, and we it was coming, so we decided to put a little bit more jumbo packages in than what we normally run, and we knew it was going to be a grinder. We knew it was going to be ugly. They have a great defense. They got a lot of, they got 3 silvers on that defense. So we knew that they would shut us down, majority of the time. But if we just grind it out and, get 5 or 6 yards here and there and just keep them within, a score in the fourth quarter, we'd be fine. We'd come through at the very end.
This wasn't a make or break game for DC because the division is in the state that it's in. But now with the victory, you're back in a three-way tie for first place at 2-3. You've got Sioux Falls coming to your house next week. Big game for the Dragons. But does it at least feel good to know that, hey, through the first 5 weeks, especially the last 4 games, we have just not played DC Dragon football, but hey, look at us.
That's right. Like I said last week to my guys, don't give up. Yeah, we're 1-3, but everybody else is 1-3 as well, and except for NYC, and now they're 2-3, and Baltimore's 2-3, and now we're 2-3, and so now we have a chance, an opportunity to turn things over. And I also said to the guys, look, take this schedule in quarters. The first quarter, we were 1-3. Now to the next 4 games. Let's hope we can get 4-0 or 3-1. And once we start getting these victories on our belt, then we'll be able to squeak in and possibly win the division and get into the playoffs.
Deion Hawkins had a bit better of a night tonight. You got to be happy about that, considering you probably needed him in a big game. 28 carries for 122 yards. Sioux Falls comes in into your house next Wednesday, and they're sort of coming in limping a bit after getting upset by Carolina this past week. Would you have rather have played them when they were undefeated, or do you think or do you feel like the Dragons have an opportunity to sort of jump on their misfortune here?
We have an opportunity to jump on the misfortune. They're wounded. Their feelings are hurt from losing Carolina. And whatnot. So they're going to come into our stadium. They're going to want to turn things around and get a W. But we can't allow that to happen. Our coaching staff want to make sure that we will game plan thoroughly, and so that we don't have to worry about fearing the yellow.
Yeah, you have an interesting schedule. The Dragons do. 4 of your last 5 games are against your divisional opponents. Even if over the next couple of weeks the Dragons are still trying to find themselves, your message to your players has to be, look, 4 of the last 5 games. I mean, we're making up 1 game at a time with victories. Is that how you approach it? Just seeing the back end of that schedule as the most important, and right now you're just trying to work out the kinks?
Yeah, right now, like you said, we're just trying to work out the kinks, and we're just trying to get back on a winning track. Take 1 game at a time. It works out, as you said. We have a lot of our division opponents, but also we only have 3 home games left, and so it's very important that we capitalize on these road victories well. Since we've already taken 2 L's at home, we need to be able to win on the road and make up for that. So, yeah, it's very important. And it works out for us that we're going against division opponents, because then we'll control our own destiny.
Leroy Ambush had 13 tackles tonight. We didn't see an interception out of John Snow or particularly fantastic play. He did swat down a couple of balls. But as a veteran of this front office staff, it's got to make you feel pretty good to see Leroy Ambush sort of have one of those games of his youth tonight.
Right, he's the leader of the defense. He's been on the team since day one, and so we respected him and Castro Patron to put in work tonight. We respect Tallahassee to run more, given the fact that it was raining outside and they run a lot of jumbo packages. So we were planning on them to pound the ball, and we were surprised that we didn't. But yeah, we're glad that Leroy Ambush put in that work tonight.
Jermaine Smith, appreciate the time.
All right, thank you, sir.
Mr. Smith, owner of the DC Dragons, on the call with us. Open line now, 210-473-8428 at this time. If you would like to provide also any further analysis on Week 5 in general, what was your biggest surprise? What are you most looking forward to in Week 6? What team do you think did the best to improve their positioning within the league this week? And what team are you maybe a little concerned about? Looking at the league and looking at the schedule and what they have left. So we'll take those calls too as we wrap up Week 5 will also go over the Week 6 schedule. It all kicks off in Louisville on Sunday night when the Louisville Wolfpack hosts the Minneapolis Maulers, 5-0 against 3-2. That should be a phenomenal game. The Maulers have won 3 straight, and it's a battle of heavyweights that we've all been waiting for. Los Angeles heads to Baltimore for a clash of 2 and 3 squads. Cleveland and Houston meet. They are both 1-4, desperate not to take that 5th loss so early, as conference play is about to get revved up in about another week. Wednesday, September 7th, have not made the final decision on what game is going to be commentated that day. Right now, it's currently slated for the DC Dragons, who picked up a win tonight, 2-3. They host the 4-1 Sioux Falls Sparrows. The 2-3 Oklahoma City Renegades travel to the 2-3 Carolina Skyhawks. Those two teams going in a bit of opposite directions, but both with some close losses when they have lost. And Santa Fe 5-0 at Dallas 4-1. An intriguing matchup there as well. Potential for that game to be flexed in on Wednesday night. Thursday, September 8th, Orlando at Queen City is the planned commentary game. Tallahassee is also at NYC that evening on Thursday the 8th. Programming note, Thursday the 8th, which also is the opening night of the NFL season, potentially, first of all, those games are scheduled for 6 Central, Thursday and Sunday nights. Oh, and my apologies. Cleveland is 0-5. Good correction there from Lord Raider. But Thursday and Sunday games during the NFL season, we will start broadcasts at 6 Central, 7 Eastern. Now, to add on to that, Thursday, September 8th's games may potentially be moved to Saturday, September 10th, depending upon my work schedule. Everything would stay the same that week. Obviously, Queen City, Orlando, Tallahassee, NYC would have a shorter week heading into Week 7. Queen City and NYC still play that Thursday the 15th, so not much difference there. Tallahassee plays on the 14th. That's a Wednesday, and Orlando will play the Pride that Wednesday the 14th as well in Week 7. So it won't be too bad of a stretch if that night has to move to the 10th. We will let you know as soon as we know early in the week next week if Thursday, September 8th's games will be moving to Saturday, September 10th. We'll keep you posted there. But a very interesting Week 6 slate that ends cross-conference schedule, and then Week 7 conference revs back up. You've got some really fun matchups. Crabs and Skyhawks, they've been talking a lot. They met in the preseason. Tallahassee, Orlando in the Battle of Florida. Houston, LA. Obviously some tense feelings and some passionate feelings in that game. Dallas and Louisville, a divisional clash between potentially the 2 top teams in the Gray Conference. That is a very interesting ball game. And Sioux Falls and Minneapolis could be a battle for first place in the West Division. That is also in week number 7, so a lot of good stuff there. We're going to wrap up the post-game show here. Appreciate the owners of Dallas, Tallahassee, and DC for calling into the program. This concludes Week 5 of the SFL season, and it's been a fun one. I'm your SFL play-by-play commentator and commissioner, Cameron Irvine. Final scores once again tonight. DC 19, Tallahassee 15, Dallas 20, Oklahoma City 13. We wish you all well. Stay safe, Florida. Good night from the SFL headquarters in Denton, Texas.